What's going on, guys? Man, I don't know about you guys, but I am getting sick and tired of winter. Probably by the time you've seen this video, first time, it's probably about a month from now, because I'm actually got several videos I want to load up before this one. But, let's see, we got 33 degrees. I got a mock-up of the car tie rod ends is being used as ball joints on this 400EX A-arms. Now with this setup, it is a 300EX with 400 arms and a 300EX spindle and car tie rod ends as ball joints. And this wrench is in here just because this will need washers underneath of it to be able to pull it up enough. So if you do attempt to use this stuff, you're going to need washers to put underneath here. So the wrench is just being a washer. As far as the camber setup, it's perfect. It's easy to adjust out, and see if I can get it to move while you're on camera. But it maintains it as it travels, so it's all good there. So another thing I'd like to mention, the reason why the jack is there is that the lowest that this can go, when you have a gap between eye to eye for shock, would be 14.5 inches. So if I take this jack out of here, it'll drop down some more, but it's limited by this ball joint because it doesn't have that bend to it like the stock one did. But you can see here, like I stand back from it, that's not a problem as long as you put a shock in there that's like 14 inches or even 14.25 or less. I did try to see what a stock 300EX one would do in here, and you could bolt it in there, but you would pretty much, this would all be kind of level and straight across. You wouldn't have the slanted down thing going. So I wouldn't want to put the 300EX stock shocks in there. You'd want to get some kind of aftermarket thing going. Something around 14 inches eye to eye. How this works out, the things you'll need anyways. These are the lower ones, and they are Monza outer tie rod ends, late 70s, I think till 1980. So if you put it in 1980 or 75, I think maybe is the early, I don't know. Outer tie rod end, that's what this one is. And then for the upper is Corvette, let's call it 78. I think it went to 70 to 81 or something, mid 70s. This will be an inner tie rod. The outers are the same exact thing, and that's what this is, but it has left-handed threads. So the inner is identical to it, but has right-hand threads, so that makes it easier for the nuts. I turned a shoulder on each nut of what the ID of this is. I think it's around 740 thousandths. So there's a shoulder on there. I was kind of pretty much about 50% of this nut right here is shoulder, and you can see how much I have sticking out the back. The lower, same thing, I turn shoulders on them. Basically the shoulder just makes it so everything lines up nice, stays stiffer when it's tightened down. And sorry for the shaking, guys, it's cold out here. I actually, what do you want to call it, counterboard recessed in this side of the nut so that whenever you tightened it all the way up against here, it kind of overlapped this this casting is, you know, part of the tie rod. So you didn't have, you know, it just looked better, I thought. So I mean, that's an option, I guess. I mean, you still have, you'd probably be at your limit of the end of this if you didn't. You know, it'd be right at the end of this. But that's the only thing I can say is that it'd be tough about this project is that the ability to be able to put these shoulders on here. This is 5/8 18 threads, so you need 8 5/8 18 nuts. And as long as you buy the inner 70s Corvette, that's what size it'll use, and the Monza is the same size. If you had a 400EX, and you know that's what these arms are from, if you had a 400EX, this would still all work just fine. You know, it's just, this is what my plan was to put these in a 300, so that's what I'm looking at with it. This actually adds a certain amount of length, less than an inch, probably 3/4-ish, 3/4 of an inch. And as far as 400EX arms, they add about 1.25 inches a side. So overall, I'm about 2 inches wider on each side versus what it would be stock as a 300. So, you know, they're putting these car tie rods in as ball joints would give you about 3/4 of an inch on a 400EX. I don't know. It should be able to adjust out. If this is adjusting out, so I have, you know, the correct camber, it should work with the 400 arms, or 400 spindle. I'm sorry. So, all right. Well, I guess I'll catch you guys later. This will be a conclusion to this project. Well, I'd like to add a little bit more. I went through a lot of stuff to get this far. So you had Dodge Dakota tie rod ends, which was, you know, the bottom part of this fit, top part didn't. And also try ranch arrows. Somebody actually suggested them on a forum. I didn't request it. They just, you know, I caught into a part of a discussion with it. You know, the problem with these is the 11/16 18 thread. You can't find nuts for it, and if you do, they're these little skinny set nuts. So, I've been through a lot of little, you know, buying a lot of crap. So hopefully somebody, you know, can have some use of this. Everything there is, I can't think of any information that you would need other than what I gave you. If you have any questions, you can message me and I'll get to you as soon as I can. So I guess I'll catch you guys later.